Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast. So this is the first official new podcast since we're back from vacation. So thank you for enjoying some of our flashback moments and all that. But, you know, as of today, the show's back live. We're back live. You know,
all
vacation
new.
is done.
Okay, Sam, you're up first. Murphy and I will tell you all about our Key West vacation later, another podcast this week. But we want to hear about Solo Sam's vacation to Boston and the area and the food and whatnot.
It was all right.
I know. That's your typical
Eeyore
answer.
Key West, let's hear it. No, it was. Actually, there's too much to do in that area because of historic stuff.
That's what I was wondering.
And it's like I had stuff I wanted to do. I had stuff I had looked at that, like, oh, if you get time, maybe you could do that.
Like what did you really want to do that you did?
I found a Pez factory.
Wait,
Okay.
they make Pez in Boston?
No, in Orange, Connecticut, which is like 10 minutes from New Haven, where I was at for the pizza and stuff.
Delish.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
And so it's like, you start looking around, it's like, oh, well, look at this, 10 minutes away. And okay, so I went over there. Now, it turns out a lot of things I discovered, that 2-week period, people take off. One of the pizza restaurants I went to, I had to rearrange what I was doing because the next day they were taking off for 2 weeks.
Sure.
And it's like, if you don't get it now, you ain't getting it. But the Pez thing was the same way. The factory was open. You could take the tour, which was just like so colorful and amazing.
Not bad.
But then it's the
like Willy Wonka.
It was like the Willy Wonka factory. They had it all right there on the other side of the glass.
Really?
But that was the first day they took off for 2 weeks. So nobody was working in the factory, putting
Oh,
the candy together
sorry
and all
about
that.
that.
But it's like they had all the stuff there, and it's like, well, I can imagine what it looks like.
You can always go back. In fact, if you didn't get to do everything you wanted to do, go back. It's almost like you'll be comfortable there because you've been there. Then you can do this round two.
It's like I've thought of that because it's like now there's places I know I'd want to go back and eat at, and places I'd want to see that I didn't because Plymouth Rock.
Yes.
That's cool. Didn't get to go there. 45 minutes away. Salem, witch trials.
Yes.
45 minutes away. Didn't get to go there. It's just there's just so
much history.
You got to pick and shoot. Like on the 4th of July, I had taken a tour on the 3rd, the history tour of Boston. And, I learned that about Lexington Green, which is where the first shots were fired. And it's like, everything in Boston. You go look, you bring it up on Google. Oh, look, that's 10 minutes away.
Right.
Well, of course I'm going.
Okay.
So July 4th morning, I drove up there. And it's like, boom, you're here. And this is it. And there's the green area. This is where the first shots were fired. Here's the tavern.
The first shots of the Revolutionary War?
Here's the tavern still exists where the Minutemen, the Patriots were in there. And it's like the British are coming.
Oh, my gosh.
No pun intended.
Right.
So let's get together, grab our muskets, go outside, form up. Let's get ready for them. Ran across the street, which wasn't a street at the time, formed up, and a few guys were shot there when they met the British. That was the first encounter, Lexington.
Interesting.
And then the British won, so they moved on to Concord, and that's where they were defeated. History, I just remember from being a kid, Lexington and Concord.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lexington's where it happened. They had all the markers where the guys fell.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
names of the guys and all this stuff, and it's like,
And it's
that was
preserved.
the video
Have
I
they
posted.
really? I saw that. It's all preserved correctly, in your opinion.
Yeah, it's
I like
just
that.
like, wait, it's still here? That was amazing. It's like, this
I
is
like
where
that.
they walked out of. They walked over there about 100 yards, and they took on the British. And it's like, whoa. And we saw, and then I took a tour of Boston, got to see the North Church, one if by land, two if by sea, Paul Revere's house, got to see Paul Revere's grave. There's a cemetery right in the middle of Boston that's like a bunch of the Patriots. Ben Franklin's family, not him. John Hancock's buried there.
Really?
Goodness.
Okay.
Paul Revere had this tiny little, grave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard so much about. Especially if you're a history fanatic, Boston is a place that you absolutely have to visit because obviously it's really the epicenter of what became the United States of America.
And there's
right.
this little cobblestone road. I swear it reminded me of Diagon Alley, from. But it's like
European.
It's where all the pubs were that they used to have their secret meetings at, and some of the pubs are still there. They've been redone, and there's it's called the Freedom Trail, and I thought, okay, Freedom Trail, as in they go to number 1, go to number 2, but it's actually bricks in the sidewalk. It's the Freedom Trail. If you can go anywhere and come back to the bricks, and you're back on the Freedom Trail because this 2.5-hour walking tour that we took, it stayed basically on the trail, and on the trail you hit North Church, you hit Paul Revere's house, you hit those taverns, you hit all this stuff. And
Love
it's
it.
like if for any reason you get lost, find your way back to the bricks, and then there's a tour.
That's cool.
And then when it was over with, we were in the north end, which was the Italian part, and they were talking about
food?
all these great restaurants and the cannolis, and everybody kept talking about the cannolis on my tour. So it's like, well, I'm up here. Do it. The 3 bakeries that are known for their cannolis. It's like,
and
within a half hour, I had 3 cannolis.
oh
Yes.
oh, that does not sound right.
Oh, they were so good though, and it was Murphy. You'd have loved it because it was like you go in there, they put your stuff in the box, and then they have the string and they wrap up your box. And it's just like old school. And then you walk out with your little string box, and go sit on the sidewalk and eat your cannoli.
Were they delicious?
Nice.
Oh my God,
Best
were they
ever?
delicious? They were unbelievable.
I want to talk
delicious.
about the pizza. You posted also some pizza. You kind of went on a foodie vacation, really.
Yeah.
It was history and food for you.
And in the diners in the morning, I got lucky with so many diner breakfasts that were delicious. It's like everything. It's just the food was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the pizzas, or as they're called, abits.
Mm-hmm.
They're called abits, A-P-I-Z-Z-A, but they pronounce it abits because the old Neapolitan. These are Neapolitan pizzas in the Italian community.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Abits was the way it was. It's the Italian way is la pizza or la pizza.
Okay.
So it's the shortened version of abits.
Okay.
And everybody,
different?
and they all say moots too. And it's like, so what's on this one? Oh, that's just moots and Parmesan and sauce. It's like moots. Mozzarella. I got
Oh,
it.
moots.
Yeah, right.
Mozzarella.
Yeah. Everything
Okay,
was moots.
so how different is it? Is it unlike anything, or is it like
not,
pizza?
I was thinking something, I hate to compare this, but the Domino's thin and crispy crust.
I knew you were going to
You
do
know,
there you
that.
go.
cracker crust, it's not that. And it's not, I mean, everybody knows Domino's, okay? So it's not the thin crust. It's not the regular hand-tossed Domino's. It's somewhere in between. It's a thin crust.
Mm-hmm.
It's crispy, but there is
But
a
also
little chew
chewy.
to it.
Nice.
And the black on the edge, it's not burned. It's called char.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's on the bottom. It's on the edges because these things cook in like a minute or less.
sure.
700, 800, 900 degrees in these ovens.
Oh, wow.
I got to see one of the ovens. went over and saw the Pepe's oven,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just bricks and a hole in the wall with a dome oven in it, you know. And it's like they whip these suckers out. They come out lava hot. You got to let them sit for a minute.
How much pizza did you eat? How many pizzas did you order?
3.
Only 3?
That's it?
Well, each of the places I ordered a pizza. And
So 3
you know,
pizza places.
since I had to be analytical in my head to prove it all correctly or to have a good comparison, I just ate the basic moots and sauce.
Oh, okay. That's
have-
actually a good call.
They actually have a basicer pizza, which was just the sauce. They just put the sauce, sprinkle a little Parmesan on it. and
Really?
It's a tomato pie. That's the original one.
Oh.
And it's like, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to do pepperoni because I've heard the sausage pizza here is great, and the bacon and the white clam pizza here is
Yeah, you
one-
definitely need to
and
do
it's
this
like,
trip again.
Nah, I'm just going to do the basic mozzarella.
So you can compare.
Yeah, and it's like, they were great. I brought a couple pieces back to the hotel every time.
And when you eat it cold the next day, sort of a thing.
It was a little harder. I mean, I didn't have a way to heat it up. To me, that wasn't good cold pizza.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Domino's is better cold
Domino's
pizza.
is good cold pizza. I don't know why,
Right.
but this
Sure.
pizza it was made to be eaten
Hot.
and they serve it all. And all 3 of them serve it in these big silver, the cookie trays
Mm-hmm.
that have been through. And you get your paper and they pizzas on top and just eat away on it.
So,
They were very good.
what was your favorite thing? Like of your whole trip, do you have a favorite? That's a stupid question, I know, but it's hard to maybe answer.
Just like a standout, maybe.
I mean,
I love the pizzas. I love the tour of Fenway. That was
right.
amazing, geting on the field and then going to see a game and just seeing it and the way the people react in the 7th inning stretch. Honestly, to me, being a history buff, that Lexington thing was pretty cool.
no kidding.
I mean,
You'll never forget that.
you drive up there in your rental car, and it's like, wait, this is where they did it. This is the place that they did it.
Yeah,
right
it's-
over there,
it's
100
a real-
yards. That's where they did it and started this.
Yeah, I remember that
Unbelievable.
when I saw the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia the first time. It was that same
Yeah.
thing. It's
Like-
like, wait, that's the Liberty Bell? Oh, that's
Yeah,
the.
and it's like this is the tavern that they came out of.
That's
and then
incredible.
One of the taverns, it's called the Green Dragon, I think, in Boston, was where they all that's where they all met before they went down to the harbor and tossed the tea.
Right.
So it's like, here's this.
So
you're standing on the
per
spot.
usual, when we've heard about something, read about something, seen even photographs of it our whole lives, to me, history books, American history is where you first learned about this. If you weren't born and raised in the Boston area.
You have a preconceived notion about what it's supposed to be.
Did it seem smaller? Like, usually it's smaller. It's like, this is not as big as I had it in my mind.
When they tell you 2.5 hour tour and you're going to go from Boston Common up to the north end and you look at it on the map and it's like, hope I got it in me for this. But then it's like when you get on it, it's just like
time flies.
Boom, boom. And here's the North Church right over here by this church. And then there's that. And then this is Paul Revere's house right around the corner from that. And it's like, and they explained to us that Boston is a landfill city. The original Boston, when you look at the maps, was just this little tiny sliver. I mean, they filled in everything, put the airport. They filled in everything, put the north end. Filled in everything, put in Cambridge. It's like Boston was nothing like, I think they even told us like 15,000 people when it first started.
Oh.
And then they just fill in and build on
grew.
it and boom. Fill in, build on it and boom. And Harvard. Right there. I missed.
You went to Harvard.
I missed them. Yeah, see, I can now say that.
Yes.
Oh, you go to Harvard? Mm-hmm. Just to buy the shirt. Yale, I went to Yale because that's in New Haven.
And?
Bought the shirt.
Not about the shirt. Was it beautiful?
Oh, it's gorgeous. I think Yale was more pretty than Harvard.
Oh,
yeah,
fighting words for those, but
went to Harvard, got the shirt, and then
now you can tell people you've been to Harvard and Yale.
Yes!
Really impress them.
But I missed though because right down the street, I mean, literally 5 minutes away. I mean, you got Boston University, Berkeley, you got Harvard, and MIT. Yeah. I forgot MIT was there.
Oh,
I mean, and then I looked at the
you.
map after I left, and it's like it was right there.
More you than anything.
That's the T-shirt I needed.
Right.
Overall, though, I mean, the green just historically. And that whole historic tour was just like,
that's
wow,
great.
Okay, now
I love
I get
that
to
was
see
your favorite.
And literally, it's stuff I learned about in 5th and 6th grade. And then finally, as a grown adult, you get to see.
Seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get it.
To me, when a place leaves that much of an impression on you, you should do it again. It becomes almost romanticized the second time you go back and the third. Not that it should become your only vacation because there's so much to see and do. But now when you go, you wouldn't be starting from zero.
Yeah.
You would have a better plan and you could fill in those gaps. I like that because it's almost like a comfort trip.
And like in New Haven, I was literally an hour and a half or so from New York City. So, I mean, there's that. And when I went from Boston to New Haven, I stopped in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And had hot dogs at this place that was a James Beard award-winning hot dog diner.
And did it live up?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a hot dog. I guess I was expecting my head to be blown off like, oh my goodness, this is a hot dog.
Right.
It was a good hot dog. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we enjoyed all the pictures.
Food was great.
I'm glad you decided to do that. The Sam Solo vacation has really become a cool thing because you're experiencing something you never have before.
We may have
you have
to
a chance to do that.
May have to tackle Europe next time.
Very fine by it.
I hear things are a little older over there.
Yeah,
a lot older. Okay, so tomorrow's After the Show podcast. We'll take you to Key West with me and Murph.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.